Hey guys, what's going on? Josh here from Polymathics, the YouTube channel that helps you become a modern day Renaissance man. And today we're here continuing our series in NaNoWriMology. And that is National Novel Writers Month for those of you who haven't been following us yet. And basically throughout the month of November, we're going to be going over some tips, tricks, and hacks on how to best get through our 50,000 words. And today, the topic that I want to touch on is writer's block. I mean, no YouTube channel, no YouTube series about writing would be complete without discussing the nasty word writer's block. But I'm here to tell you guys that honestly, I don't believe it exists. Now, I know there's a bunch of you guys out there who are saying that's bullshit because I'm dealing with it right now. And hey, I hear you. When I was younger and I had first started writing, I hadn't developed the tools and mitigation techniques that I have now that help me get through. But honestly, it really boils down to your mindset. And the first thing that you have to do is you have to tell yourself that there are writers out there, pardon me, my nose is itchy. There are writers out there who are writing every day and not experiencing writer's block. And so if they can do it, that means you can do it. The question is just finding out what works for you. A lot of times, the reasons why people encounter writer's block is because they're under a preconceived notion that one, it exists. If you think it exists, then you allow it to manifest itself in your reality. So the first thing you have to realize is that even though it may be out there, it doesn't have to exist in your reality because it doesn't exist in every writer's reality. And I know that sounds kind of trippy and esoteric, but I swear to you, like, just roll with it. Another thing is you can come up with several different mitigation techniques. Now, I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm going to go over the ones that work best for me, and in no particular order. And I'm not going to give like these are my 3 steps kind of thing like I do in most of my other videos because there are so many that I couldn't count them all off. So I'm just going to try to give you to them as they come to my mind. The first thing that I think works really well is getting in state. And getting in state, we don't necessarily have to think of writers. This applies to anything in life. It's basically sometimes your body can't perform because you haven't warmed up yet. So for example, think of the gym, right? When you go to the gym, if you were to like go up to the deadlift rack, like, you know, and throw on like 4 plates on either side for roughly like 405 pounds, and then try to do a pull immediately after that, you're probably going to break your back. Or you're never going to want to lift that thing again because you tried taking on too much all at once and without warming up. And that's essentially what writers do when they kind of jump into their typewriter and expect magic to happen. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes that does happen because, you know, so many different factors have already lined up and the muse is ready to come out and play, right? But if you haven't set the environment up for the muse to come out and play, then it's really difficult to get things going. So the first thing is you gotta warm up, just like you would if you were going to the gym. Same thing applies for like if you were going to go out for a run, right? You wouldn't just start sprinting, you would do a little bit of warm-up exercises. Or if you were going out on the town looking for a new relationship, you can't expect that the first person that you walk up to, you're going to meet like the woman or man of your dreams and live happily ever after, right? You're going to have to talk to multiple people. And, you know, you're going to have to get in state by moving around and going to, you know, different people and kind of engaging in conversation and being a part of the party until finally you're feeling it, you're in state, you're in that zone, and then, you know, that perfect person walks up to you and then you guys start having a conversation. It's the same thing. So one of the biggest things is, for me, I believe, is getting in state. And that's as easy as sitting down with whatever writing tools that you're going to use. It could be your computer, it could be your phone, it could be your paper and pad, but whatever it is that you decide that you're going to write on, just sit down with it, right? And I know this sounds crazy, but if you're alone, have a little conversation with it. Some people like Stephen King, I think what he does is he goes to like the last page or two that he wrote, and he starts reading over it. And he'll make a few little edits, and then it gets him back in the zone and kind of rewires his mind so that he can launch into those next few words. Another way to get into state is by simply writing about anything. You could, and I'm not saying you write about this for your word count, but I'm saying start writing just to get the juices flowing. You could write about what you ate today, what you did for your workout, who you talked to, what your kids did, what you plan to do this weekend, or if you want to go a little bit more along the lines of like fiction stuff to get those fictional juices flowing, then what you can do is watch a quick 5 to 10 minute video on one of your favorite scenes from a favorite movie or book. Read a scene, listen to a scene, watch a fight scene. If you're stuck on a particular kind of scene, watch that kind of scene on like YouTube or something and kind of get into that mentality and that mode, and it might give you, that one thing that you needed to spark the imagination, and then the fire just starts to run wild. Another thing that you can do is if you've had a really good night where you've been typing away, and you're finally you're just spent and you can't do any more, one of the good things that you can do is you sit down and you think, okay, you leave a little bit of gas in the tank, so to speak. And what you do is you sit down and you say, okay, this is what I've written so far. Tomorrow, these are the top 3 things that I need to start with. And then those 3 things should help then propel you tomorrow when you go into it to start writing more, right? If you left a little bit of gas in the tank, then tomorrow you can start with those topics and those ideas that you kind of had and then jump into it. Now, another thing that one of my favorite authors from a long time ago, his name is Napoleon Hill. He's the author of Think and Grow Rich and several other books. One of his books about success, he talks about how he would go, actually it wasn't a book, I think it was one of his radio shows, TV shows, but he talks about how when he goes to bed, he presents to his mind the problems for tomorrow. So this is a very similar technique, and he basically he would have a list of 1 or 2 things that he wanted his mind to work out while he was asleep, and he would consciously think of this. And then when he would go to sleep, he would wake up the next morning, and his mind would have been in the background working on those things. Now, that may sound like pseudoscience, but it's very interesting. A lot of recent scientific studies have shown that whatever we do in the last 30 minutes or hour before we go to sleep and hit our REM cycle, seems to be retained far easier than everything else that's happened throughout the day. So there might be something to his little ritual. But I find for me that it works. A lot of times I'll go to bed racking my brain about something, and then the next morning I wake up and boom, there it is. Or maybe it's not that instant, but sometime throughout the day I'll be on, working out or sitting at the desk, and it's, for whatever reason, my mind just, something jogs it, and it's like, that is the answer. That's what I've been looking for, and then I can simply write it down. So there's that. Some other things you can do is look for writers for inspiration, look to other writers, and obviously, have conversations with real people, and that don't even have to be writers. If you talk to a writer, though, the benefit is you can say, hey, this is where I'm at with my story, and I'm really struggling with it. What do you think you would do? A lot of ancient writing wisdom is to have someone come in with a gun or find a dead body. But the point is, you don't have to have a dead body or a gun, but just have something super unexpected happen in your story and have your characters kind of ride that wave out and see what happens. The other thing that you can do that I also like to do is I think of conversations that could happen between my characters. For example, if one character is blind and the other character isn't, like the main character, I have the main character ask the blind character what it's like to be blind. Or, for example, in one of my stories, they live in the future. So the technological capability for them to get their eyesight back is there. But they choose not to get their eyesight back. And so the reasoning behind that then gives the main character and the audience a glimpse into the blind character's belief system. But so conversations about anything, about random stuff, about work, if one of the characters is militant and likes to work out, maybe another character who's not, they can have an argument about it, or they can say, talk about the pros and cons, all kinds of stuff. All it does is get the juices flowing. Let's see. The other thing you can do is, if characters have known each other for a while and there has been a possibility that they've been separated, then what kind of letters would the characters have written to each other? And then have them write out those letters in the voice of that character and kind of go with it and see. You're building a backstory at the least. And at the most, what can happen if you never even put the actual words of the letter in your book? One, it can count. That can definitely count for your word count. But two, the second thing is, maybe at some point later on in your story, you want something that's personal between those two characters. Well, then you can have one of them reference that letter. And instead of having to detail the letter line by line, you can just pick one or two really poignant lines that give the audience a glimpse into what kind of relationship those characters had. Was it a romantic one? Was it a business relationship? Or was it antagonistic? Who knows, right? That's for you to find out. But, I could go on for days and days. I think that this gives you guys a couple ideas here to start rolling with. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple more. One of the other things that I think of is I try to have more than one project going on at once. Normally I'll have a creative nonfiction project going on at the same time as my regular fiction. So as I'm doing Nano, if I hit a block, so to speak, then I'll transition over to my creative nonfiction, where 9 times out of 10 I have no issues jumping right into it. And then after I start typing for a while, it gets those juices flowing, and then I say, oh, now I know where I want to go with the the novel, and then I switch gears back again. The point is to just get into state. Once you get into state and your body is ready and the muse has come to play, then you guys can dance in the fields of imagination and have a freaking blast. That was a lot. Hopefully you guys found at least one thing helpful. Now, I'm not saying that was all encompassing, and I bet you guys have just as good ideas, if not better, than the ones that I had. So if you do, please drop a comment down below. What did I forget? I don't know. Let everybody else know. And then also, if you like this, please give me a like. And if you want to hear more like this, then please subscribe to my channel, and you'll get all kinds of good advice, and maybe even bad advice, I don't know, depends on what you think, from me, as well as tips on being a polymath, a modern-day Renaissance man. But until next time, keep fighting the good fight and writing the good write. Take it easy.